Venezuela, a land blessed with vast oil reserves, breathtaking landscapes, and vibrant culture. In the 1990s, hope flickered. Venezuela, it seemed, had the potential for prosperity. Oil wealth promised a brighter future, a chance to uplift its people. This promise, however, would soon be entangled with the complexities of political change and the shadow of unfulfilled dreams. A charismatic leader emerged, captivating the nation with a vision of social justice and shared wealth. His name was Hugo Chavez. Chavez, a former military officer, tapped into the discontent simmering beneath the surface. He spoke of inequality, of the forgotten masses, and promised a revolution. His words resonated with the poor, the marginalized, who saw in him a beacon of hope. His message, a potent blend of socialism and nationalism, found fertile ground. The stage was set for a dramatic transformation of Venezuela, one that would have profound and lasting consequences. Chavez's ascent to power in 1999 marked the beginning of what he called the Bolivarian Revolution. He promised to dismantle the old order, which he accused of corruption and catering to the elite. His policies, rooted in socialist ideals, aimed to redistribute wealth, empower the poor, and reduce inequality. Social programs known as misiones were launched with great fanfare, providing access to healthcare, education, and subsidized food. Millions of Venezuelans, long accustomed to hardship, felt a glimmer of optimism. The economy, buoyed by high oil prices, experienced initial growth. Chavez's popularity soared, fueled by his charisma and the tangible benefits felt by many. However, beneath the surface of this apparent progress, cracks began to appear. Nationalization of industries, price controls, and expropriation of private property created uncertainty and discouraged investment. As years passed, the cracks in Chavez's socialist experiment widened into gaping chasms. Economic mismanagement, rampant corruption, and declining oil production took their toll. The influx of petrodollars that had fueled the initial boom dwindled, leaving the economy vulnerable. The government's response was to print more money, fueling inflation and eroding purchasing power. Price controls, intended to make goods affordable, led to shortages as businesses struggled to produce at a loss. The once thriving private sector withered under the weight of government intervention. When Chavez died in 2013, he left behind a nation deeply divided and facing mounting economic woes. His hand-picked successor, Nicolas Maduro, inherited a toxic legacy. Maduro, lacking Chavez's charisma and political acumen, doubled down on authoritarian tactics. Dissent was met with repression, and the opposition was sidelined. The economy continued its downward spiral, plunging the country into a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented proportions. The consequences of Venezuela's collapse were most acutely felt by its people. Hyperinflation reaching astronomical levels wiped out savings and plunged millions into poverty. Food became scarce and basic necessities like medicine and hygiene products disappeared from shelves. Hospitals, lacking even the most basic supplies, struggled to function. Stories of suffering and desperation became commonplace. People were forced to scavenge for food in garbage bins, eat wild animals, and even resort to selling their belongings to survive. The heartbreaking image of emaciated zoo animals, victims of the country's hunger crisis, became a symbol of Venezuela's despair. The once vibrant middle class was decimated, and professionals, doctors, engineers, and teachers fled the country in droves, seeking a better life elsewhere. The exodus of talent and human capital further exacerbated Venezuela's woes. The collapse of Venezuela sent shockwaves throughout the region and beyond. Millions of Venezuelans fled their homeland, seeking refuge in neighboring countries, straining resources and sparking social tensions. The once prosperous nation became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the perils of economic mismanagement, corruption, and authoritarianism. The international community watched with a mixture of concern and frustration, grappling with how to respond to the crisis. Sanctions, imposed by the United States and other countries, aimed at pressuring the Maduro regime, but their effectiveness remains a subject of debate. Venezuela's tragedy is a complex tapestry woven from internal and external factors. It is a story of broken promises, squandered opportunities, and the resilience of a people tested to their limits. The collapse of Venezuela stands as a haunting reminder of the fragility of democracy and the devastating consequences of unchecked power. It underscores the importance of sound economic policies, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. As Venezuela grapples with the legacy of its collapse, the path to recovery remains long and uncertain. Rebuilding the economy, healing the deep social divisions, and restoring trust in institutions will require a monumental effort. The echoes of Venezuela's collapse serve as a warning to leaders and citizens alike that prosperity can be fleeting, and that the pursuit of utopian ideals, if not grounded in pragmatism and respect for human dignity, can lead to unimaginable suffering.